Greedy people, 2024. The streaming service algorithm recommended this to me. I think it was following my watching of Running on Empty 2024. I guess our similarities in the humour, both of them are dark, although this is dark in a bit of a different way. It's set in Providence, which is in Rhode Island. Rhode Island's a very small US state, I think one of the smallest. And in the trailer, and I think in the film, it says population 1,592. It's like, no way. I mean, how does that work? I mean, I saw a film recently, saw, was it So Torn? Set in Switzerland, small place, and everyone doubles up on jobs. I mean, if you're on a island or you're in a small town, very remote, sleepy community as this is, then people tend to double up on their jobs, and this struck me as really different. And so I looked up Providence population 190,934. It's the third most populous city in New England, and it's pretty high up in even the whole US. I mean, there are obviously much bigger cities across the US, but this is pretty big for New England. And so this really detaches from reality. I mean, maybe that's the purpose. It doesn't want to appear too like the real deal. And they need somewhere that's very small. I mean, I've seen several films in places like Martha's Vineyard. I don't know how that relates. My geography of New England is sketchy to say the least. It's, I do sometimes pore over maps. I look at Boston and Providence. Let's go on this film. It's supposed to be a small place, you know, the size of a large village or a very small town. And that's the whole point of this narrative because a new police officer, um, or a new to the area police officer, um, called Will Shelley. He's played by Himesh Patel. He's moved to the area with his wife, his pregnant wife, Paige. She's played by Lily James, and Will starts this new job. He meets the people in the police department, like his supervisor, and crucially, he gets partnered up with Officer Terry Brogan, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I remember him from many films from the last decade, but not very recently. So it's good to see him on the screen again. And I didn't really recognise him. I noticed that the film starred Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but during the film, I was thinking, "Who is this?" Just thought maybe it's a new character. He's like really irreverent. He really plays the part well, and Will Shelley does too. I mean, the cat Himesh Patel plays Will Shelley very well too. Oh, I love a lot of the acting. Lily James is always good. Seen her in a few films, but as Paige. Um, but oh gosh, like there's the story. Let's just explain. So on the first day, they're driving out. Of course, police in America, they're always in a car. They're often in a car in the UK as well. Um, but Terry says to Will, rule the first rule is don't kill anyone unless you really have to because it's messy. And that's probably a warning sign of what the film is going to turn out like. I mean, there's quite a few deaths towards the end. It's a really messy story, but it captured me. It was fun. It was really good fun watching it. Um, and what happens is actually on the first day, because Terry said it's really a sleepy place, nothing happens. So he parks up outside this house, and it's because he's engaging in extramarital um, connections with the woman who lives there, and all he asks Will to do is warn him if her husband comes home, and it's just like, I mean, there's a lot of crassness in this film. There's really dodgy language. It's not what was called political correctness or wokeness, all that awful stuff. I mean, this is very irreverent. I guess that's the best way of putting it without going into all that language, which is mired in unpleasantness and controversy anyway. And well, I'm happy to be woke. So, but um, this is where the characters are disrespectful and unpleasant often. And they're not really characters that you'd actually like. Well, in particular, Terry. But as things develop, the other people as well, many of the other people, I won't say who exactly. I mean, there's at least one character who comes off well at the end, because of the narration at the end. But I'm not going to say who that is. But there's a lot that happens. And oh gosh, what happens is that whilst Will is waiting in the car, looking on the lookout, he gets a call on the police radio. There's a 11:10 in progress, or no, 11:50, some sort of code, and he misinterprets it. He doesn't realise exactly what it is. I think he thinks it's a home invasion or some sort of burglary or something. So he calls for Will, and Will's just got loud music, which is he's like having this affair, but he's not. This Terry is just after saying, please be a lookout, he isn't even able to hear us lookout. So Will drives by himself out to this Chetlow home on Sunnyside Boulevard, I think, something like that. Maybe some details, not others. And this is all before the actual opening credits, if I remember correctly. It's got about the same length of an opener as Rules of Attraction, I would say, 20 odd minutes, at least 20 minutes. And it's this setup which I'm explaining. He gets into this house thinking there's a home invasion. He actually goes past the incident which caused the problem or which caused the call out, which was someone had vexatiously um, objected to someone dogging. That's come up in another film recently. Um, but um, yeah, he is um, he's trigger happy and fires into the place because he sees some disturbance. Someone's actually just, I don't know, she ducks the woman in question, but then gets really angry and something happens. And I won't explain what happens, but it's like a domino. It leads to everything else that happens. Um, the the Chetlos are like the wealthiest people on the island, and dominoes start to fall. It turns out, oh gosh, there's some really daft things like when someone is discovered dead by someone who actually wanted them dead, they get upset. It's like, what? I mean, oh gosh, there's so many things. There's a cover up. Let's just explain things very generically. There's a cover up that someone else is trying to expose, when they sense that there's um, some really um, criminal behavior going on. So there's an investigation going on, but there's, people pinning it on each other. Oh, and then there are two, there's the Irishman who's a professional assassin who puts up notices in shops with the last handyman you ever see. I mean, this film laughs at itself. It doesn't take itself seriously because there's a conversation in which one of the characters, um, I'll say who it is, Paige. She says she's, the wife of um, Will. Uh, and she's in a shop, and then this ominous music starts up when this man walks by, and she asks the shopkeeper, "Who is it?" And he says, "That's the Irishman." He's and it turns out he's a kind of handyman, but he's the final handyman. It's just like so. There's another assassin, and again, it's stereotypes. It's the Colombian, and the Irishman and the Colombian. It's like New England stereotypes. Um, they have post boxes opposite each other, so you can actually see the writing, the Colombian, the Irishman, and you put money or whatever in the box. I mean, it's just absolutely stupidly daft, but it's fun. So the plausibility goes out the window, but it doesn't matter. It's just like, oh, okay, I'll go for this ride anyway. And when all these dominoes fall, and the fact that the root of all evil is the love of money. I mean, I guess that's the premise of greedy people, as in the title. You can see how people might get just desserts, but how things develop is the romp, is the story. So it's worth a watch. I think it's really good fun. I think I'll score it 8 out of 10. Um, yeah, this stuff I didn't like, that made me cringe a bit just because it was a bit over the top. But the black humor, is pretty dark. It's fun, observational, not taking itself seriously, kind of almost breaking the fourth wall, and like that scene where the Irishman's put up a note that's more or less almost like he's eavesdropped the conversation between the shopkeeper and Paige. So there's all this stuff. You just don't take it seriously, and if you can do that, you might enjoy this. If I mean, it's not too. It is a bit slightly bloodying. Not too bad though. I mean, it doesn't last too long, but I don't know. I mean, they did go back to that scene a couple of times, but yeah, it's not great. But you just look away a bit from the screen if you're squeamish like me. Well, you see it anyway, but wow. And people kind of exaggerate about it during the film, because it's a head injury, I guess. Hmm. Anyway, that's it. 8 out of 10. Love to know what you think. Um, thanks if you subscribe. Please like if you like this review. Um, Please hit the notification button. Leave any thoughts in the comments about what you thought about the film and any constructive criticism as well. But hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.